Hi everybody, it's Pina here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really lovely, super soft, super easy throw. So you can it's for an adult or for a child. It's made from Baby Snuggle, I think it's called. Yep, Baby Snuggle by Hobby. I'll show you the brand. Baby Snuggle, 100% polyester by Hobby. So that's what this is called, this particular yarn, and it's absolutely wonderful. Super soft, super easy, and you don't have to do anything but rows of block colour. And I've got, let me see how many colours have I got here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colours altogether. And of course you can make this as wide as you want, and you can make it as long as you want. And I showed you a little picture of it earlier in the video, and you can see how big it is, how it looks when it's spread out. I can't really show you the full extent of this on camera, I haven't got much space, but you can see the colours. You've got this lovely, beautiful sort of spearmint green, then you've got this wonderful sort of rabbit grey, and you've got this beautiful blue, it's like a cobalt blue. You've got this other type of grey and a lighter shade of blue, almost like a denim kind of blue. And then you've got this cream, and then we repeat again with the same colours. So it's a repeat of the same 6 colours. So that's all you're going to do, a repeat of the same 6 colours until you get it to the length you want. Now the width of this is, you can't really see it on camera, but it is I think 46 or 47 inches wide. So the width is 46 or 47 inches, and so is the length. So it's like a big square, but you can, adapt it to your own requirements. You don't have to do it this big. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, but the same principle applies to whatever size you're making. And there isn't a border on this. As you can see, you can add a border if you want, but I've left it like raw like this, so it just looks like raw, the edges, but pretty neat and raw. As long as you get the edges neat, then you don't have to worry about a border. But if you want a border, you can add a border to it, which will really make it look nice as well. But I like it like this. It's just very modern, very plush, very soft. I mean, super soft. This is so soft. It's softer than the Burnett chenille, I think it's called, Burnett. It's a lot softer than that. It's even silkier and softer. It's just beautiful. It really is on the skin. It feels amazing, and it's very light. It's not heavy. It's quite light, and it's a really nice yarn for beginners. Nice yarn to work with. And it works up really quick. It probably works, you can do probably, if you've got a few hours in a day, you might be able to do it in one day. So this throw, I would call it, but you can make it into a blanket if you want. You can just add more chains at the very beginning to make it the width that you want. So I've got, in this particular one, my foundation is 100 chains. I've chained 100. That's my foundation. Sorry, this is my foundation area, and I've chained 100 to start with. Okay, and that's made it that 46 or 47, nearly 47 inch wide. And then I've gone down in rows so that it made it to 46 or 7 inches in the length. So it's like a square almost, a big massive square. But it really is beautiful. You can make it into a rectangle if you don't want to square. That means you go wider across and shorter in the rows that you do. But each row of block colour is 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to do 7 rows of each colour. And then once you've done each of the 6 colours, I think it's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 6 colours, then you do a repeat of the 6 colours again, starting from the very first colour that you started with. So it's here I've got, for example, I started with the blue. I'll just show you. Might not be able to see too much on the camera. Started with a dark blue, then I did the next colour, which was like a rabbit grey, then I did the green, then I did the cream, then I did the denim blue, then the grey, and then then started again with the dark blue, the rabbit and the green. So I started all over again, and you can go on like that for as long as you want it, but I stopped at this green at the end because I didn't want it any longer. But of course you can go on, but repeat the same color sequence, the 6 colors, just repeat that all the way. So let's get started on this, shall we? And you can see how it's made. So I'll just pop that aside. So for this, you're going to need, like I said, baby snuggle, and this is, I think it's 100-gram ball. Yes, it's 100-gram. So they're 100-gram balls, and you're going to need, I would say, depending on how long your blanket is, but I had to get 2 balls of yarn of each color, and then I was left over with quite a bit, but you can make something else with that. So, you know, just go with your instinct. If you think you need more than 2 balls of each color, then, you know, go ahead. But I used, for this particular size blanket, 2 balls of each color, but then I stopped at the green, so I didn't need any more than that after that. So it's entirely up to you how much you use of each color. So, and this will make more, probably this 100-gram balls will make 7 rows with a bit left over. It's okay. So I would recommend 2 balls of each color if you're making a real big full-size one, at least, or bigger, just slightly bigger than mine. So there we go. So it's better to have some left over than to have, you know, nothing left. So that's what we're going to use. Okay, so this is the yarn you're going to use, the color sequence. You've got the dark blue, the rabbit grey, the green, the cream, the sort of denim blue, and this other grey color. And then, of course, as I said, once you finish this sequence of colors, you can then start again with this at the other end. So then you start again with the blue, this color, and the green, and so on. So you just do it like that. Okay, so you just make sure you do the same color sequence, but you don't have to do this particular color sequence if you don't want. You can always, you know, do it the way you want to do it. You don't have to do it this color sequence. I just love this color sequence. It goes really nice in my living room, and it's just got lovely colors. So it's up to you what colors you want to do. I'm going to do this sequence, and I'm going to show you, for the tutorial purposes, I'm going to show you just a sample. I'm just going to do a sample swatch kind of thing, so that you can see how it's done. But you would normally chain 100 to start this throw. So 100 chains to start with is your foundation chain. So, you know, go ahead and chain 100 with your chosen color to start with. If you're starting with this same color, again, you know, 100 chains. But for this tutorial purposes, I'm doing less chains just to show you how it looks and how it's done. And then, of course, you decide how big you want this blanket to be, or this throw, whichever. So for this, you're going to need, I'm just going to put these colors aside. You're going to need a pair of scissors, of course. Okay, for the end. You're going to need your hook, which is a 6mm for this yarn. 6mm hook, that's what you'll need for this. And then, of course, a needle to sew in your ends, and that's it really. That's all you need. So let's get started. So I'm going to chain about 20 here, so we can do 2 rows of each color just for the tutorial purpose of the video. So I'm going to chain 20 to start with. So put your hook in and do a slip knot. Okay, do a slip knot and then chain 20. So yarn over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. That's 20. Now I'm going to do 2 more because that's going to count as my double crochet, because we're doing double crochets all the way through the whole project. The whole of this throw is going to be double crochets. Okay, and then changing color. Of course, I'm going to show you how to change color as well. So this very first color, like the dark blue, we're starting with. So we're going to now chain 2 extra. 1, 2, and then in the 1, 2, the third chain from the hook, yeah, because we chained 2, we're going to do a double crochet. 1, 2. So that's your very first double crochet. Yarn over and into the next chain. If you can see, there it is, you can feel for it. You do pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your second. Yarn over, put your hook into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, yarn over, and we're going to put it into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's your double crochets all the way. So keep doing double crochets in each and every chain. Okay, keep going till the very end, and we're doing 2 rows of this, but ideally you'll be doing 7 or more depending on how thick you want your block colors to be. I opted for 7 rows of color because I thought it was enough, it was thick enough for each color. I didn't want any more thickness, so I just left it for 7 rows, but you can go on to 8, 9 or 10 rows, depends, you know, how big your blanket is, you know, play around with it. So, but this color combination is pretty good. If you want a different color combination, you can always alternate the colors. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going down until I get to the end. Double crochet all the way, yarn over and just put your hook into the next chain, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2 again, and then you just keep going, and I'll show you how to turn your work when we get to the end. And this works up really quick. Can you see how quick it's already got to about 2 inches? So it's pretty quick. And then so that's, we've got 1 more, I think. Yep, don't forget this last one at the very end. And I'm going to put my hook into that last chain. And then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Right, so we've come to the end of this very first round with this first colour. So now we're going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and turn a work. Okay, now we're going to now do a double crochet, but not into this very first stitch here where this chain 2 is coming out of. We're going to go into this one here, the second one. So yarn over into that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2 again. So this forms the edge of your work. So just take my hook out and you can see it will give it a nice neat edge going up the side, so you won't need a border. But if you want a border, by all means, you can still do a border. So I'm going to put my hook into the next stitch and do a double crochet, into the next stitch, double crochet, into the next stitch, double crochet, into the next stitch, double crochet. And that's all you're doing in this project, just double crochet. So simple. Double crochet. It's very light, this yarn. You can't hardly feel it in your hands, it's ever so light. So I'm just going to keep going. There you go. So we've come to the end, and at the very end there's 1 more stitch just there. I'm going to put my hook in and do a double crochet there as well, And then we've got this chain 2 here. Okay, so we're going to go into that, do a double crochet into the top of this chain 2, just anywhere, just poke your hook where you feel like the top of it is, and there you go. So that's my 2 rows of double crochet, 2 rows already done. And look, you've got such a height. Now we're going to change color now, so I use this color combination. Okay, so the next color was this kind of, I would say it's like a gray color almost. In fact, I think it's called Rabbit, but of course I'm going to leave all these colors in order that I use them in the description below, so you know which ones to get if you want the same color combination. But this one here, like the second color, is sort of like a rabbity color. So I'm going to grab my work, and because we're joining now different color, I'm not going to finish off this double crochet. I'm going to show you what to do to change color now. So yarn over and do the same as you'd normally do in the top of the chain 2. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and stay like that. Don't pull through the next 2. So I'm going to put my work down. I'm going to snip off my yarn an adequate amount, because when we're tying in our ends we want to make sure it's secure. So I've got an adequate amount. So next color is this kind of rabbity color, and you want to pull the new color through your 2 loops like that. All right, and leave the tail end. Now just pull it all together so it's nice and sort of neat, like so. Here we go. Now I'm going to chain 2 from here, so 1, 2 with a new color. Turn the work. There we go. So now we've made that side bit there, but what we're going to do is we're going to go into not this very first, but this one here, the second double crochet into that stitch, do a double crochet. Into the next stitch, a double crochet. If you go into the very first stitch where this chain 2 is coming out of, you're going to get your blanket fanning outwards, and you don't want that. So make sure you do go into the second one and yarn over and just keep going and make yourself and do all your double crochets all the way along. Just double crochet, and I'll show you what to do when we get to the end and how we turn. Right. You can make this for a baby, so of course you'll make it a lot smaller if it's for a baby blanket. Double crochet all the way. There we go. So we've come to the end, right? And at this part we're just going to yarn over, and we're going to into the top of the second chain just here. Okay, I'm going to put my hook in and draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And because we're doing a second row of this one, or however many rows you're doing, 7 rows probably, now we're not changing color yet, so we just chain 2 and then we turn our work at the very end. So when you're not changing color, you just change your chain 2 and even when you change color, you're chaining 2, but just specifically this, you chain 2, and then not in the first stitch but in the second we go into and we do a double crochet and keep going. Now go ahead and finish this row, and I'll show you how to change color again. So when you get to the bottom of this row, we're going to change color to this lovely sort of minty spearmint green, I think you could call it. So we'll be changing them to that color. So go ahead, finish off this row, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, so I've come to the end of this second round of the other colour. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to insert my hook into the top of the chain 2, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop there. Okay, so you just stop there and then you join your next colour. So I'm going for the minty green, and I'm just going to pull through this yarn through the 2 loops like so, and then give everything a little tug, make sure it's all, you know, nice and tidy, and then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then turn my work. Okay, so now what we do is we'll start again for the next 2 rows of this green, and I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to insert my hook into this, not this very first one, but the second one, second stitch, and do a double crochet and then continue all the way along doing a double crochet. So this is the 3rd colour that we're using, and I've used 6 different colours in this particular throw, a combination of 6. There we go. Double crochet. I mean, look how high it's already come. See how quick it works up. Okay. So now we're going to do 2 rows of this. If you're doing the green, we're doing 2 rows of that. So at the end, no need to change colour yet. Yarn over in the top of the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 2 and turn your work, and then do the next row of the green, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, so we've come to the end of these 2 rows of the mint green, and I'm just going to yarn over and do my double crochet into the top of my chain 2 there, and we don't finish because we're going to add another colour now. So the next colour will be this creamy colour, like a cream colour. So we're going to add that colour to the to it. So I'm going to chop off my yarn here, an adequate length of yarn, okay? And it might seem like a lot of strands, but it's not too bad. So we're going to now join the next colour. So grab the yarn and I'm going to pull it through like before, leave a bit of a tail end, give it a tug, chain up 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so once you've chained 2, then you can just turn your work, and we're going to yarn over and then again second stitch, do a double crochet. So double crochet, double crochet, so keep going until you've done 2 rows of this cream colour, and then don't forget to chain 2 at the end or at the beginning of the next row, and then you can start again. So do 2 rows of this lovely cream colour, and then I'll meet you right back when you've done 2 rows, and then I'll show you how to join the next colour, which is a light blue. It's a lighter shade of blue. Okay, so we've done the second 2 rows, or however many rows that you've chosen. 7 is in my throws, but if you've got more, then carry on. but I've done 4 colours now, and the 5th colour is this lighter blue. So I'm just going to add the lighter blue, and again we'll just pull that through, leave the strands and just pull it all together tightly. There we go. Chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work, and second stitch do your double crochet onwards. So do 2 more rows of this blue colour, and then I'll meet you right back when you've done this for the last final colour of the round. Okay, so we've nearly finished. I've done my 5 rows and I'm on to the 6th row, and that is this grey kind of colour, this pale grey. So I'm going to add, I've snipped my yarn off already so that I start the next colour, and I'm going to join on to the next colour and just pull it through the 2 loops like that. And leave a tail end, tighten it all up a bit. Okay, and then what you do now, you just chain, just going to chain 2, so that's 1 and 2, and then you turn your work. So let's just turn our work, and then we're going to do our final 2 rounds of this grey, and then what happens after the 2 of these rounds is up to you. You can have the same sequence starting again, and I'll show you that in a second. We'll just do these 2 rounds. So go ahead and do your 2 rounds of the grey, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, so I've come to almost the end of this 2nd round of the grey, and I'm just going to finish off my final stitches, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the last chain, top of the chain 2, and then I'm going to just chain 1 and then just tie off or cut off. Okay, so this is what your work should look like without a border. Now, you don't really need a border because, you know, it really is lovely. It's straight, as long as you tie all your ends in properly, and you've got your 2 sides exactly identical. As you can see, they're very identical. So you won't need to do a border, but if you do want to do a border, you can do a single crochet border. You can do any border that you want on this project. Okay, and there you go. Can you see how it looks? Looks lovely, doesn't it? So you've got your 6 colours, and this is the colour combination that I use for the blanket. Now, if you were going to go further, then you would do the next row of blue, again the dark blue that you use on the top. You do the next down the bottom, and you start the sequence again. You start with the blue, the grey, the green, and so on. So you just repeat the same sequence over and over again. Okay, the same 6 colour sequence, unless you want a different colour scheme, so that's fine. Now I'm going to show you how to tie in the ends on this particular. It happens to be all down one side, as you can see. Okay, well, with my blanket it wasn't like that. With the throw, sorry, it wasn't like that, but with this it is. So I'm going to show you how to do that, how to tie your ends in. Now choose the side that you really want to. It doesn't really matter, they both look the same, but I'm going to choose this side as the back end and tie them all at, you know, behind here. So I'm just going to start with my very first. Take a needle with a big eye so that you can thread your yarn through. Right, and I'm just going to find any place that you can that's got a little space, you know, that's going to look neat and tidy when you do it. I'm just going to thread it through there, thread it through there. There you go. Now if you wanted to do a border, you could do a single crochet border. That would look nice, or a half double crochet border. and then you just literally just backwards and forwards with this yarn until you've secured it really well, because this yarn does tend to come out quite easily if you don't secure it very well. So just keep going backwards and forwards as many times as you can, not tugging too much, not pulling too tight. You still want to keep the nice airy feel of the throw. That's the very first one. I'm just going to cut that off. And then continue all your ends. Just going to go under, basically underneath all these colours, like so. Underneath the same colour would be better if you can do that. And make it nice and neat so that when you pull it, you don't tug it to the point where it's all like going in, bunching in. You want it to stay nice and straight on the edges, because if you're not having a border, that's what you need, a nice edge. So it all depends how neat you are at threading your ends through, how the edges will look. It's a very simple project. It does work up very quickly, and if you don't put a border on, it's a really, really nice project anyway, with or without. So I'm just going to thread that through and then cut that off. Okay, second colour. I'm going to go for this, the blue. Now that's why I said leave an adequate amount, so you can go in quite a few times and, you know, sew your ends in so you don't have any problems with it coming out. Okay, so I'm going in, I've got a long piece here, gently, you know, so that's, you need a straight edge so you don't tug at it too much, and then you just thread it through. Yeah, and you go all the way in if you want. It doesn't show, it looks part of the design when you thread it through. So don't, because it's bulky, it's, you know, you can get away with it with threading it through a few times, a good few times. You see, I'm almost at the other side here with this strand. Which is fine. And now I can work my way sort of back again, like, you know, going back this way. There we go. That should be fine. And then I'm just going to go back that way. That's fine. So that feels secure. Okay. And I'll do the next colour. And all the way through, making sure you don't get this too tight on the edges, because as I said, it will start bunching in and we don't want that. You want it to look nice and straight and neat. So I'm just going to go through a few times like so, back this way like so, and then I'm going to remove this and cut it off. There we go. So let's give it a little snip. There we go. Now Right, so go ahead, I'll let you get on with this sewing your ends in, because you can get the knack of it now, how to do that. So I'm just going to go backwards and forwards with all of these colours. As you can see, there's a few more strands left. So I'm going to go backwards and forwards with all those. When you've done all your ends, I'll meet you right back. Okay, so I've tied all my ends in. As you can see, look at this, isn't it pretty? Such lovely colours and refreshing colours. You know, that looks really nice. As you can see, you can't see the ends, they're all sewn in nicely. You've got straight edges around the sides of the your work. As you can see, they're pretty straight, so you don't really need a border. It looks really neat and straight. So wonderful. So that's your little blanket or throw, whichever you're going to use it for. Those are the color combinations. I will put the link down below of all the colors I've used and in order that I've used them. And I hope you do make this this throw, and let me know how you get on. And please comment in the comments down below if you've made one of these. And thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, where I'll be showing you more and more of my patterns and projects for you to crochet. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.